Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in all of Ohio sports. Yesterday, we all had a great opportunity to watch sporting events, many of them prompting great sports talk the next day. There was the Indians' 5-home run onslaught, the NBA Draft Lottery, where the Cavs finished 5th, followed by Game 1 of the NBA Western Finals. But the best sporting event of all yielded little conversation, at least here in Cleveland. I'm talking about the NHL Finals, Game 4 coming up tomorrow, the NHL Eastern Finals, Boston versus Carolina. You don't have to know the names of any players. You don't have to need to know what offsides is or icing the puck for that matter. A one-goal game in the third period of a Stanley Cup semi or finals game is about the best sporting event you're ever going to see. Sorry you missed it while watching the Cavaliers get that important 5th pick in the draft. Andy Baskin is here. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air.
I'm not concerned with it until it becomes mandatory, and that's June 4th, I think.
When you talk about trying to become a team, is presence right now valuable in that? Are you actually building team right now?
Well, I think we're building collectively. We're trying to come together and help each other out as we practice. But that started back, during meetings and stuff like that. Listen, I've never disputed the fact that it's not important for him to be here, but it's also important for him to be mentally ready to be here. All right, so I'm not giving him an out by any stretch of the imagination. Nobody here knows the conversations that Odell and I have. So I'm just saying it's better for him to be here when he can present his best self, emotionally, physically, everything. And Odell Beckham's going to be here in the fall, and he's going to be a good football player in the fall, just like he has been. We just need to incorporate it into a team setting now and move forward with the Cleveland Browns, and that's what we're going to become. But are we there yet? No. And whether Odell's here or not here, we're not going to be the Browns yet. We're going to be the Browns when we line up in September.
Is he just at the point in his career, Freddie, where because of his experience and maybe Jarvis today not participating as much, where you just know they can step in when they have to?
Well, it's not that easy. But, Odell understands he's got a lot of work to do in mini camp and in training camp. He understands that. Jarvis understands that. And Jarvis isn't just sitting out of practice either. I mean, we don't have to issue any kind of statements as far as why people are out or in or whatever, but it's not like you're going to step into it. There's still work to be done. We still got 6 weeks of training camp, and that's where we're going to build our team. It's all. Let me say this about this time of year. Me personally, this time of year is for knowledge more than anything else. It's for learning how to compete when you get to training camp, because that's when the team's going to be made. And that's the way I've always viewed it. That's the way I was brought up. You're just getting these young guys ready, knowledge-wise, to compete.
From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into its 23rd consecutive season, 24 coming up soon, and of course exclusively on cleveland.com. Andy Baskin, exclusively from 92.3 The Fan, is with us. Hello, Andy.
Hello. I see you got a new open. That was very nice. I saw the beginning of the show is a little bit different.
A little different.
And you're here. You show up for camp and shows and everything you need to do.
They tell me the OTAs, I've got to be there. I got to cover the OTAs because you never know who's not going to be there. What do you make of this? What do you?
I think it's fodder.
I know Freddie.
I think it's fodder for us. I really do. I think it's a lot of fodder for us.
But should he be there? Should he not be there?
You're a new guy on a new team. I would want to be there.
Right.
But that's me. I'm not one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. If he is ready to go when training camp is ready to roll, there's no problem. It's not going to matter. Is he up to speed on the playbook? Are he and Baker going to be kosher together? I mean, all of these things are important when the season starts. If you go back and ask me what happened at the beginning of May at a optional team activity, then I'm not really going to worry about it. They start the season 0-2. 0-1, they're going to be like, why wasn't Odell Beckham here in the beginning?
Is this something that's no different than what he did in New York and got the image out there that he wasn't a team player, that he was a problem in the locker room and all that? Is he basically?
So I heard the opposite.
Okay,
I've heard like from inside the clubhouse, like guys that work in their clubhouse locker room for football.
Right.
Sorry, guys that work in the locker room, guys that are around him all the time. That he's a good guy. That they like being around him. That he treats people well around him.
Is this a
so
crisis?
It might just be Giants envy. Oh, you're not going to make it in New York. You can't make it anywhere else. Who knows? Show me some football. That's what I want to see.
Okay, so is he a problem for Freddie Kitchens or not?
No. Look, they knew
You don't think he's testing him?
They knew he was going to helicopter in. They knew it. This is no surprise. They knew when they made the trade that he was going to miss some things that weren't mandatory.
All right, I get it. The
done.
first time he was only a week and a half away from going and doing his stuff in Europe or whatever he was going to do. But it seems he's acting like he's the first guy who ever got traded. Guys get traded, they have to move, they upset their environment. Sometimes, look at Mercado. He was playing golf when he heard that he got the call up, and he's got to go get back to Columbus. He's got to get his clothes and all that stuff. I'm not putting Mercado on the same level as Odell Beckham, but it seems to me it has the look of a prima donna to me.
Wide receivers are prima donnas in the NFL. You know it. It's just one of
guess.
those things. Look, Les, you and I, if you're playing at Brush or I'm playing at Cleveland Heights, we're there. And we're not getting paid. And we love the game. And we want to be there and all that. We don't live in that world anymore. We live in a world where a guy who catches touchdowns every Sunday and has the opportunity to be the most well-known football player in the NFL outside of quarterbacks, he's going to write some of his own rules. They knew it. They knew it when he came here.
Did you play with or against somebody who would be considered a prima donna? Because I never did, and I played at a pretty good level of sandlot baseball.
I don't know. I never really thought about it that way.
Because these
there were
guys
some guys
make
at
the
Kent
teams.
State that were on the hockey team, but I just never really. I never accepted anyone to be a prima donna for me.
Okay.
Because I always just knew I was worried about me working hard, me doing what the coaches asked to do, me doing whatever I could do. And then hopefully one day I aspired to play for the Jasper Reds. And it didn't happen.
You could have, with your hockey stick in hand.
And I wanted to be able to say on the radio the next morning, Les-Levine had a hit, Les-Levine reporting. It was a dream.
It's almost
my dream.
It's almost a verbatim quote, but now I've invented how come quickies.
Yeah,
So
that's much
what
better
could be
than
better than
Are
that?
you upset that he's not here?
Yeah.
Does it bother you?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just thinking that if it's me, and I'm not putting myself on his level, but if it's me, I want to be around the offensive lineman because he's going to get the credit, he and Baker-Mayfield. And in the meantime, there's guys butting heads on the line that allowed whatever touchdowns or whatever happens, they're a big responsible person for getting Odell Beckham open on a pass play. And he doesn't know these guys yet, let alone Baker-Mayfield and getting to know each other's tendencies. That's what bothers me.
Again, I want him to be here. I wish he was here. He's not. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Okay, before we move on, and we want to hear from Kareem-Hunt, he'll speak for the first time. What was the reaction today? I didn't get to hear much of your show today. What was the reaction to the 5th pick of the draft by the Cavaliers and how the whole thing came down?
I think, excuse me, initially, I think fans felt like they got punched in the stomach.
Well, so did New York and Phoenix.
Look, this is what the NBA wants, and this is where they are, and all 3 of the top teams got displaced. They all got displaced. So here's what I say. Go out there and play during the regular season. Try to make the playoffs, and if you don't make it, now you got a chance for the number 1 or inside the top 6.
There was a point when the Cavaliers' team came up, I'm saying, oh no, it's going to be either the Lakers or the Knicks.
We all did. I thought it was Lakers.
Yeah. Or I expected Patrick Ewing to come walking out and saying, by the way, I'd like to admit that they fudged the lottery back 35 years ago or whatever, and now I'm taking my rightful place and we're going to bring in Zion Williamson.
But don't you think that's
the Big
karma?
Apple.
I thought the same thing when I saw him because I was at lacrosse and I was listening on the radio, and as I heard it, and then I was kind of watching on my phone. When I saw Patrick Ewing, I'm like, I was probably.
You didn't know he was coming in?
No, I wasn't sure. I didn't think about it before.
Okay.
And he was there, and then Patrick Ewing. I'm like, oh man, the Knicks are definitely getting it now. Full circle.
Sure.
But it didn't happen, so that's good.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at real-les-levine@gmail.com. And Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, along with Jeff Phelps from 10 until 2, Monday through Friday, is with us today. When we come back, we'll hear Kareem-Hunt. If you haven't heard him speak, you'll find out what he has to say about playing in his hometown. And you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine, with new content posted each and every day. We pose a question, you respond, and we read it. You normally get your picture on the show. And we'll come back. How about that? We'll be back in a moment. More Sports and Les Levine, seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It turned out to be your hometown team with a lot of support.
It definitely, turned out to be good, landing in a situation like the Browns and being close to home again. And, I didn't know. I just had to sit back, keep faith and just better myself as a person.
Are there challenges that come with being in your hometown?
No, I got a lot of supporters and, my family behind me and a great organization like the Browns. And I'm just excited to be back, on the field.
Can you give us a little sample of what you've been doing in the community? They talked a lot about you've been out doing some outreach programs and things like that.
Yeah, I've been going to schools, talking to high school kids, and just telling them you guys, you got to make smart decisions. I done made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and you just got to make best decision for you.
Kareem,
Why are you doing that?
Just to go out there and let them know how important it is, and just tell them, because I didn't really have anybody to come talk to me when I was in high school, or somebody to look up to, and explain that nobody's perfect, and you got to learn from your mistakes and don't make the same mistakes twice.
How much has this past 5 months changed you as a person?
It definitely changed me a lot as a person, just helping me becoming a stronger person, and just bettering myself and figuring out things that I can work on to be better.
How do you explain what happened?
I mean, I'm trying to move forward from that, and I'm just trying to focus on, staying on the right path, going out here and giving them everything I can, and I'm just excited to be back out here.
Do you feel like you have to get a lot done in a short amount of time because it's going to be interrupted for a while?
I mean, I do, but I'm just grateful again. Like, I apologize for my actions in the past, and, I'm definitely, most certainly not going to make those same mistakes.
It's a long way to November, but do you feel you have a handle on the path to getting reinstated?
Yeah, definitely. And I've been going to counseling, seeing a lady called Shelly, and she's really good, and I love talking to her. She's helped me, stay on the, keep my mind positive.
All right. Can I clear up one thing?
Shout out to his counselor,
Right.
Shelly.
Can I just say, I just for the record.
Okay.
Okay, I hope this experiment works with Kareem-Hunt. I hope that he develops and learns and becomes a good person. But Kareem, not everybody makes mistakes of that magnitude.
Freddie Kitchens said
I heard at the beginning of that. I heard him say everybody makes mistakes. Have you?
Yes, everybody makes
like
mistakes.
that?
No, I haven't made a mistake like that.
What mistake? You added wrong on a math test?
That's right. Well, my abacus was broken, so I couldn't. I was like, what's going on here?
No, not
Look,
everybody
people make
makes mistakes.
And,
Yeah. But some of them are when you're a 6-year-old kid, you steal candy from the drugstore. Okay.
You were the guy.
Maybe.
Mandel's. I saw it. Taylor Road.
All right, maybe. Maybe
Heights
not.
Hardware. Taylor Road. Both those places.
Okay.
You were stealing candy.
So not everybody makes those kind of mistakes. So let's just, for the record, say that. That's not an out.
No one has a perfect day. Let's just say that. Now, what he did was wrong, but listen to the repenting he's doing. I mean, he is definitely on the repent
Is
train
it
right now.
sincere repenting? Or is it, I better say this or else I don't play in the NFL?
He did well, part of that probably is true,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to question that. He went to Cleveland Heights High School. He spoke to Cleveland Heights
Okay.
a couple weeks ago.
To the football team or
Yes,
everybody?
to the football team.
Okay.
He's trying to get into schools.
How did he come off?
I don't know. I didn't hear what the final word was. It's ironic that he did that because when I was at Cleveland Heights, I remember Charles White came in, talked about the dangers of cocaine, talked about the dangers of drugs, talked about all that
Charles
stuff.
White, the Brown player from Southern Cal.
From Southern Cal, the Heisman Trophy winner. And then 3 weeks later, he got busted again for drugs.
That's
just it. That's just it. If Kareem stays clean and stays out of trouble and, goes to the facility, does his work, goes home, keeps himself around family that's going to put him in good situations, he's going to be fine. He also said he was getting baptized next week. So, there might be some spirituality that he's never had in his life, and someone's finding that. And what do you say his counselor's name? Shelley. Maybe Shelley is pushing him in the right direction.
Do you?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so let's hope that works out and everything goes according to plan. What, from a football sense, what do you expect from him on this team?
I don't know. I want him to be a great running back right away the first time he touches the ball, but I just don't think that's realistic. He's sitting out for the beginning of the season.
Right. What is realistic?
He's going to be ice cold.
What is realistic is that team will be halfway through their schedule, and some guys will be beaten up, and you get a fresh legs in there, and maybe that'll help.
It's a good point, and they're going to have to counter him. Look at all the guys on offense now. Defenses have to worry about. Never had to do that before with the Browns.
For targeting players?
Yeah, I mean they're like, well, do we double team here?
Yeah.
We're going to cover OBJ. Who are we going to cover? What are we going to do here?
There's not enough men to cover.
Yeah, and so for the first time, I feel like the Browns have offensive threats that defenses have to scheme for. They can't go in with a generic football plan and beat the Browns.
And they haven't had to do that in 19 years or however many since the Browns started.
When's the last time?
No, in fact, my guess...
Hey, by the way, we got to cover Jarvis Landry. We got to cover Njoku. They have a couple running backs now.
My guess is when teams saw the Browns on their schedule, they'll never admit they just skated through it, but some of them did.
Was it the Ravens 2 years ago that said, we didn't even care. We didn't throw a game plan, and we were always working for the team the next week.
Right.
It was a bye week. Not
Pretty
anymore.
Much. All right. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. What concern do you have, or what level of concern that the sophomore jinx or sophomore slump will hit the quarterback, Baker-Mayfield, or aren't you concerned at all?
I'm not worried about it yet. I think first 2 weeks, he sounds like a guy that's been playing in the league for years. Let's see what he does. He wants to work hard. He keeps working hard. He gets together with guys who, even if Odell Beckham's not here and those guys go work in California together, that's a leader. That's a guy that's going to do. He has that edge. I'm waiting for him to say something that's going to make everybody mad, and I don't think Browns fans are going to get mad. No. And I think we're going to let a lot of stuff slide. There were a lot of things with LeBron we let slide that maybe in other cities it wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have slide.
I don't think you put that at the same
pocket.
level. Baker now, when he says I'm feeling dangerous, that's a funny line that sticks with him.
Yeah, he's cocky if he plays for another team. If he's the Steelers, he's cocky. We can't stand it. I love it. He's on our team. That's great. We don't have those guys here.
All right, the latest power ratings on quarterbacks had him listed as the 9th best in the league. Do you agree with that? At this stage of his career.
Well, I mean, he did put up some amazing numbers last year. Yeah, I'll give it to him. I mean, I got to see who they have ahead of him, but who's behind him.
Pretty much figure it out.
Yeah, but who's behind him?
I think I read Roethlisberger was one behind him.
I'm not ready to take anything away from Roethlisberger.
No,
yet.
until he can't play anymore, you got to stick with him.
You're 100%. I can't tell you Baker Mayfield's better than Roethlisberger today. I can't. He's just done. Roethlisberger's owned us. He's killed us.
He's killed us, but the team has always been better too.
Well, that's true. Let's see what happens. I really can't wait for Browns Steelers.
216-575-0403. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, is with us. Northfield Park, Preakness Day coming up this Saturday. Doors open early at 9:30 a.m. The Pimlico post time is 10:30. And free to enter drawings for cash and prizes, including the grand prize of $2,500. Food Trucks Festival goes from 2 until 7. The bus stop, the superhero truck, and much, much more will be there. The Benjamin. Have you ever seen the Benjamins singing? A group that sings in bars and all that stuff. If you ever looking for
Really
a place,
good?
No, really fantastic.
Oh, wow, okay.
The Benjamins, they'll be there coming up this weekend. A lot of stuff at Northfield Park where it's free admission, free parking every day. Andy Baskin and I return in a moment exclusively on cleveland.com.
When my dad started Nature Stone right here in Northeast Ohio, he created a solution for age-old concrete problems. Unevenness, cracking, pitting, and more. Nature Stone solves all of these problems in garages, basements, and outdoor spaces. Nature Stone is beautiful, environmentally friendly, and always affordable. Plus, Nature Stone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Between a year ago when Tyrod Taylor was the #1 and you were finding your way as a rookie and what's in your head right now as a team leader?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different, position and, mentality-wise being the vocal guy here now, and it's a big difference from now to last year, but it's a great difference, to be able to be that guy that people are looking at, during OTAs and during meetings and stuff like that. That's important to me.
Were you able to imagine the possibilities when you were throwing the ball to Odell and seeing, I don't think Jarvis practiced yesterday, but just Antonio and Odell, were you looking around yesterday thinking, wow, this could be something really cool?
Yeah, no, it's kind of like what we said, back when the trade happened. It's kind of pick your poison now. We got some pretty good talent all around, tight ends, running backs, receivers, and then, going in with the same offensive line. It's just we got a good team. Now it's what are we going to do with it?
What's your overview of how the running game might evolve?
I think we still need to be able to run it, in our division when we have to. Mentality-wise, it's a tough division. Yeah, people are talking about our receivers and tight ends, but we got to be able to run the ball, short yardage in cold weather, all the stuff like that. And so it's pretty important, and I'm hoping, everybody kind of overshadowing and not talking about the running backs kind of pisses them off.
Hey, Baker, you've only been Kareem Hunt's teammate for a short time now, but what have your interactions been like with him? And then also, he's not going to necessarily be, he's part of the team, but can't be included for a while. Do you take it upon yourself to make him feel included, even more so?
Yeah, absolutely. You want everybody that's here right now to feel like a part of the team, to feel like we're working towards the same goal. Even though he can't play the first 8 games, he's going to be a vital part of our team. And just being around him, I think he's a great kid. Mistakes happen. I can, speak from personal experience and just talking to Pat Mahomes or Travis Kelce or the guys that have been with him, they speak very highly of him. And so I think that's really important, and it's been pretty important for him to be here too.
You said you were ready to start. You're still trying to figure out your identity, but have you already started to see the difference in this roster in terms of it being a better roster?
Absolutely, and I think the most exciting thing is it's competitive. Going up against the defense now and doing the voluntary minicamp, we got a lot of talent, and so just like I said, trying to find out who we are. But it's fun to go compete against those guys every day.
In terms of the new head coach, are you having to turn the tables and coach him to be himself now?
No.
What's Freddie been like since he's taken over?
I think there's one thing you guys need to know: nobody's going to change Freddie, and I think that's why he's the man for the job. No matter scrutiny, first year, whatever it is, he's going to trust his instincts. The things he's been through, he's going to coach. His players, and he's going to try and bring out the best in them. And I think that's the best part about him. He's not going to change in doing so. He's just going to try and relate to those guys and bring out the best in them.
You like the beard?
Hate it.
That it's a beard or it's that beard?
I don't hate it that he has it. I mean, that doesn't bother me. Every time I see that beard, I think about that chin strap going on.
Right.
And that thing's got to itch all day.
I think of what he ate for lunch.
Yeah, it's Bluto, right?
Yeah.
It's Bluto. Oh, you got some spinach in there? Don't give it to Popeye.
All right. What does he have to do? I mean, he had as good a year as you could expect last year coming in the Jets game. What does he need to do to improve himself? Obviously stay healthy, but is there anything he should work harder on than anything else?
Stay the course. I think they put him in a winning position now. He clearly, with Hugh Jackson, wasn't in a winning position. As well as I do, there are jobs and occupations out there that you have people that can do more. And if you make that person into a winner and put them in a winning position and put people around them that can help them win or be winners, that's where you are. And I think when you change coaches, we saw all of it was like a giant, somebody let all the air out of the balloon and said, go be yourself. And
Right.
I think that's why he plays with such comfort. He plays with some pretty good decision making. And now he's got a coach that he knows he's going to be able to work with.
What they also have to remember is they were 7-8-1 for the whole season. They're not defending the Super Bowl championship.
He wasn't. I don't feel like he was.
He didn't play the first couple of games. I understand that. But there is such an aura about the team that maybe is being overhyped, certainly nationally.
I agree. There's too much. But look, it's fun for us because we just haven't been here forever. And I can live with it now. If we were back-to-back seasons in the playoffs and we were the most hyped team, I don't know that we would be all in on that. But it's been so long since this team has had that national. Remember the last time they had all these games on national television? They were coming off the 10-win season with Derek Anderson, and they laid an egg. Now you've got legitimate guys with big names that the networks want to see, that fans want to see. So I can embrace this for a little bit, but I also don't get mad when somebody says, you're giving the Browns too much. And because they are. We are. Look, LeBron James, and I keep going back to that a little bit, but LeBron James was the best player in basketball in a lot of people's eyes when he came into the league before he even shot a basket. Because we live in an age where the hype is going to be there before we actually see the return on the investment.
Right.
And so that's kind of where we are with the Browns right now. The hype is there. We'll see what the return of the investment is. The reason that LeBron was great was he delivered and then some on how good he was compared to the hype.
You also forget he didn't get to the playoffs even till year three.
Yeah, and they just missed in the second year.
Yeah.
I think this kid's a winner, but you're an injury away. You're a problem away here or something crazy going on. So I just think football's unbelievably fragile. I think they're going to win games that sometimes we're not going to expect them to win, and they're going to lose a dog game that they shouldn't lose.
Well, that's why the schedule game you guys play is tough to do because you may have the right final number, 10-6, 9-7, whatever, but not the way you get there.
Yeah, there's just this whole air of positivity, and I'm good with it. I love it. I love it. And, a year from now, maybe you won't love it. Maybe Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be something he's not. Maybe Baker Mayfield is going to be something that he's not when he's got a full season. It is his sophomore year. He still has to continue to work. You're talking about a coaching staff that's entirely new.
And now teams will have a lot of time to actually prepare for him. Before, it was the first time they didn't have much tape on him. They got it now.
Yeah, and we're going to see what that's like in Baltimore this year, too.
Same thing.
Yeah.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at real-leslevine@gmail.com. Andy, you've been here. Have you been here since we've been grading How Come Quickies?
We've always graded How Come Quickies.
Well, no, we have a guy who sends 2 a night.
Oh, yes, I do know him. One is clean.
John Patrick. No, every once in a while he sneaks over the line, but He's going to be interested to know that I'm actually giving him tonight's outcome quickie because I totally messed it up when I read it last night.
Oh, okay. So you're going to give him an
So at the end
A?
of the show, I'm going to. The question is, do we give him a 10? That's the questionable thing. 216-575-0403. Coming up, the Cavaliers and the NBA draft, and who knew that the New Orleans Pelicans were going to get that? That's not. If you're going to fix it, you don't fix it for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Or maybe you do fix it for
maybe
him.
Give you another team to root for, I would think. 216-575-0403. Voicemail of Truth and Reason is what we are. You can call anytime, 24 hours a day. And that number, of course, is 216-200-6650. Call anytime, leave a message, and we'll be happy to use the best messages on the future show. Try to make them not too long. They don't have to be quickies, but they can't be War and Peace. And we'll come back in a moment. We brought to you exclusively on cleveland.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
This date in sports history, it's May 15th, back in 1941. Joe DiMaggio begins his 56-game hitting streak, which will eventually end at Cleveland Stadium against the Indians in 1941.
Oh, that's too bad.
What a year that was. Ted Williams hitting 406 that same year. Some people did.
I'm sorry.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the first birthday.
1947, Hell in a Handbasket?
Yes.
It was her birthday. What do you want from me?
I don't know. She lived in Montana, too.
Look at all the Hall of Famers: George Brett, Smoltz, Emmett Smith, Ray Lewis, and maybe someday Michael Brantley. I doubt it. Looks weird in an Astros uniform, doesn't he?
Can we say something about Michael Brantley?
You can
I know
say
everybody
anything you
wants
want.
him back on this team right now.
Yeah.
And yes, I would like for him to be back on this team. But a year ago, nobody wanted him on this team. They thought he was broken. He was just like Cliff Lee.
Well, he's not.
He was broken last year. He was broken before. And so let's see how he lasts for the entire season. Look, I like Michael. He's not a bad guy, and he's a good baseball player.
No, but they could use him in the lineup.
They could use him in the lineup. But a year ago, everyone was like, well, we can let Brantley go. Is he ever coming back? Is he ever going to? It's what have you done for me in the last 24 hours, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So I hear all this Brantley. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, where was everyone a year ago when he was hurt? Oh, you know what? We should hang on. Relax. He's hurt. He's going to be the savior of this team.
Well,
no one said that.
He's doing pretty well with Houston.
I know. He's playing great there, and I'm happy for him.
Okay.
But there are just some times when you just got to swallow the pill and say, all right, maybe they made a mistake.
All right, Jordan-Luplow, I think we should only bring him up for games against Chicago.
This is a good point.
Can be 140 games on the bench.
Did you know that since Oscar Mercado's been on the roster, they've been averaging 9 runs a game? What were they waiting for?
I didn't do the math on that.
I did. It was very hard. It was my
no question
Kent State math,
about
yes.
that. The Cavaliers get the fifth pick in the draft. Here's the draft order. Well, we'll look at who they can take. Here's the order right now, as New Orleans surprisingly gets the first pick. And Memphis at number 2, New York Knicks, the Lakers, the Cavaliers, Phoenix Suns, who are up there with the Cavs and the Cavs and the Knicks, and the Atlanta Hawks, now in the 8th spot. So we asked our question of the day, Well, let's take a look at some of the guys they could draft with the 5th pick. Guard from Vanderbilt, only played 5 games. Darius-Garland is his name. And most of them very, very young. 48% three-point shooting, but again, he only played 5 games.
Went to school with what? Kyle Shermer. Pat Shermer's son.
Oh, that's right. Absolutely. All right, then we have DeAndre Hunter, a forward out of Virginia, Tony Bennett's team. He's 6'8" and 222, averaged 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 52% field goals. That's pretty good. None of them, not very many of them long range, although he did shoot some three-pointers, pretty good percentage of that. Jarrett-Culver, a guard out of Texas Tech, 6'5", 190, 20 years old, 18.5 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, 3.7 assists per game, and 46% on field goal. We have the ability, Andy, to show that every player that's taken, if you look at the stats, it's the greatest player in the history of the game.
Of course.
And this greatest player is Cam-Reddish. A lot of question marks about him. 6'9", 205. That's not very hefty. 6'9", 13.5 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 36% field goal shooting, and 33% three-pointers. You often wonder, you get a guy like Reddish, and you wonder if his game was helped or hurt by having the superstar in Zion Williamson.
I think it hurt. I would like
in
to
his
see,
case.
Yeah, I would like to see them, if they can get Cam Reddish, if he doesn't go at 4.
Right.
Look, you just hired John Beilein, right?
Yes.
What's he known for? He's known for taking these guys, and I was talking about it today, that are almost blue chippers, because he couldn't get blue chippers.
Right, because he wasn't taking money.
Right. And so if you're a guy that's almost a blue chipper and he makes you into a blue chipper, I think it's a perfect match.
I'll go one step further. Look at the amount of former NBA players who had their kids go to play for John Beilein.
And I think that's a great point, because they knew that Beilein, the 66 thing I think is a hang-up for some people. If they win next year and make the playoffs, you're not going to care how old he is.
No.
You'll be happy you'll give him your golden Buckeye card and let him go get a free cup of coffee for you.
Yeah. So he could get his own because he's very famous, and he can get one for you while you're at it.
Well, that works out perfect, doesn't it?
216.
Don't you like that connection there?
Well,
what do you think
far
of
be
Beilein?
it from me to argue about a guy 66 years old.
Yeah, I'm not. The age thing isn't even. It's the principles that he stands behind.
Yeah.
You got, and it also I think tells you how bad college basketball is.
There's no question about it.
Who wants to compete against guys that are cheating? It's not fair. It's
nobody.
Not right. So go work for the place where you can get paid and they can get paid too.
And you don't have to recruit. That's the thing a 66-year-old guy would have a problem with. If he's going to have a problem, I think it's the energy to go out and pursue these players that you have to have.
Recruiting now for him is going to a meal, having a good meal with a free agent.
Right.
That's it.
Where do you think they'll go?
Where would you take them to? Sokolowski.
I think I would too. Who wouldn't? If that doesn't get them to come here, nothing would. I think the Browns always use the Blue Point.
I've heard that. I've heard other restaurants too, one or two other. But I think you're right. Blue Point's the go-to place.
216-575-0403. Oh, you mentioned the Indians are averaging 9 runs a game since
Oscar Mercado's
come here.
How could you miss that stat?
Keep him in the starting lineup for that very reason.
Yes.
What do you look for the next? We've passed the 40-game mark, coming up on the 80-game mark eventually. What are you looking at here?
I want to see Mercado get settled in a little bit. Let's see if he can play. The pitching's still holding its own. Sure, we've had a little bumps and bruises along the way. The pitching's been okay. Let's get to the end of the month before we freak out. I'm done freaking out about this team. Look, they've been ice cold. They haven't been able to hit, but yet they still had their best month with Terry Francona, his first month of the season. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that are going to happen. The Twins are a little banged up right now, and they're starting to get some little bumps and bruises. I don't think the Twins are going to be able to play at the pace they're able to. It's going to be a dogfight, closer than I think most of us would like, but I also think we're going to have some pitching back towards the end of the season. So hold on.
Yeah.
I'm done freaking out.
Let's have a pennant race.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Remember when the Indians in the 90s, it'd be over by the All-Star break?
I remember when in 95, the Indians are playing the Orioles game to wrap up the Central Division, and they're winning 7-2, 8-1, something like that. And it's like September 12th. A guy hits a pop-up to Tomey, who was playing third base. He goes in the coach's box, and just before he's going to make the catch, I'm saying, how is it possible that he's going to drop this ball and the Indians will now lose 32 games in a row? That's how I was conditioned.
Bless.
So what restaurant did you mention?
Sokolowski's.
Absolutely. Sokolowski's Let's make history together, featuring the wines from the Wente family estates. They're celebrating their 100th year in business, and Sokolowski's pretty close. They started back in 1923. Call for reservations. The big event is coming up on Sunday, June the 2nd, 3 p.m. with the reception, 216-771-8967. If you haven't heard me talk about Sokolowski's and you haven't gone there, that's on you. That's not on me. And if you want to go there for the first time, Sokolowski University Inn and Wente Wine will get together to make history together. Sunday, June the 2nd, that's at 3 p.m. with the reception. We'll come back in a moment. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, is with us. We'll talk about whatever is on your mind when we get back. We are seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
The concrete in your garage is uneven, cracked, pitted, and just plain ugly. Transform your garage into a welcoming entryway with Naturestone flooring. Naturestone corrects uneven concrete so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping. Plus, Naturestone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Naturestone installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
All right, what are you laughing at?
I just laugh at that picture every time I see it.
I
You were
was
such a dapper
I was
man.
29 at that time. All right, 1957, during
Did you
the
have
wiffle
gray
ball
hair there?
During the wiffle ball season at Chavez-Levine, Les went after DiMaggio's record by fouling off a pitch in 56 consecutive games.
Where is Chavez-Levine?
Wilmington Road, South Euclid, Ohio.
Yes, of course.
You have a story to tell? Oh, hold on
I
a
do.
second.
You gotta do this
This
first.
is the one. John Patrick had this, and I messed it up. How come conjunctivitis.com is a site for sore eyes?
That is an excellent how come.
It's one of the best ever.
That's an A.
And I blew it.
What'd you say yesterday? When you...
I didn't catch the .com. I just thought conjunctivitis. I just messed it up completely.
last time.
And then you go back to cover it up, and you make a bigger mess, Andy Baskin has a story. That story,
you were talking about the Baltimore Orioles, and I heard a great story the other day. I'm not going to give out the name.
Okay. Can I?
No, don't give out the name. If you can figure it out, I don't think you'll even be able to
Okay.
figure it out. So, was it 1979, We Are Family, right?
Yes.
It was the
The
Pirates and the Orioles
Yes.
in the World Series. And I was talking to a person who was maybe around the team a little bit. And she was very young at the time. Very young, huge Orioles fan. And Pirates win the series, right?
Yep.
And Eddie Murray, who sometimes got a bad rap, right? Just because he didn't like talking to the media.
Right.
I loved Eddie when he was with the Indians because I was traveling with the team. And there would be times when I would walk back into the hotel, I'd be by myself, and Eddie would be sitting at the bar, and he'd be like, Andy, what are you doing? And I'm like, going to bed? And he'd be like, come on. And so we would sit there, and we'd have a drink, and I was like being on ESPN Classic. His stories were amazing. And I always thought that Eddie got kind of a bad rap. Eddie had kind of a weird falling out here in Cleveland. He didn't really get along with
Well, he didn't
with Eric
do
Wedge.
a lot to smooth things over.
Yeah, that's true. And Eddie had his ways. But this story was amazing to me because this girl was really young, and she was a huge Baltimore Orioles fan. And so they lose to the Pirates in the 79 World Series. Well, she's so distraught, and she's crying, and I mean, she's like a kid. She's a kid. And she doesn't feel, and she's just bummed out. Her father knew Eddie, okay? And she snuck into her father's office and found Eddie Murray's number.
Oh, boo.
She opened up the the address book, found his number, and called him and said, Eddie, please don't be discouraged. You guys are the greatest baseball team ever, and I can't believe you lost. I was crying on the phone and just felt so bad. And Eddie said to her, he goes, don't worry, we had a good season. We have a lot of things to be proud of. You can buck up, little kid, right? And so it's like this real touching moment. So 3 weeks later, this girl whose parents would host people all the time, on Sundays where it was kind of no big deal, Eddie Murray shows up at their house and has a bag and knocks on the door. And shows up, and the little girl just thought that Eddie was there for dinner because they kind of knew him a little bit. And Eddie's like, nah, is so-and-so here? And the father goes, yeah, why? And he goes, I brought her a jersey, an autographed jersey. And he was like, wow, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? He goes, well, she called me after the World Series, and the father didn't know. And the girl got grounded for like the whole summer.
Oh, come on.
For going in and stealing the phone number and calling
That's
him.
a little much.
Yeah, but isn't that an amazing story?
Yeah.
That I hear these stories about athletes and players all the time that they didn't do this. We talk about what Kareem-Hunt did that was wrong or this. And Eddie, I just thought it was such a great story about Eddie and really the person that he was,
And
especially for little
just
kids.
a great player.
Yeah, and he was a great player.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, is with us. The Indians, speaking of the Orioles, Indians host the Orioles in a 4-game series. Starts tomorrow night and continues on through the weekend. And there you have it, the starting pitchers. The Indians' 5th pitcher is not on this list. You'll see Bauer on Game 1 of the series. Game 2 will have Rodriguez.
Say his first name.
Yeri.
Yeffy. Yeffy. I work with Jeff Phelps.
Yeah, then Shane Bieber and Carlos-Carrasco. They should only let him pitch against Chicago.
That's true.
That'll be Game 4.
Who's Tibba?
I don't know.
Tibba?
Tippa?
Yeah, he pitches a lot of games.
Oh, TBA.
Yes. That was straight out of the Les-Levine joke handbook, and you didn't even chuckle.
I wasn't concentrating at all. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin is with us. The Indians, do you care if they get a set lineup? Does the rotation bother you? Does just moving guys around all the time?
I think it's working okay. Well, no, I shouldn't say it's working okay. I think that Tito needs to find something that he's comfortable with,
right,
as far as things are going. I think Lindor is starting to find himself. Lindor's a guy, you miss training camp, and now all of a sudden you're like in the beginning of the season. That's where I think Lindor is right now. Overall, I've been really happy with Santana. I think Santana was a good move for this team.
I want to say something about Francona. I hate to complain about him. I think he's a Hall of Fame manager. He's one of the best things we have here with the Indians. But the other day in that 9-run game you're talking about, it's 9-0 with 2 outs, man on first, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th in Chicago, and he comes out and pulls the pitcher after 1 batter. That's really not necessary.
I didn't see it. I'll be honest with you. I was.
Come on.
I didn't see that.
It's 162 games. That's not that many.
I missed that. Was there an injury? Was there anything going on there? Did he want to get somebody else some work?
That's the only thing I can assume. But if Rob Manfred is worried about length of games, that's one thing I'd be concerned about.
Still part of the game. It's like I was watching a junior high school softball game. Team was up 11-0 in the 2nd inning. Runners at 1st and 3rd.
Bunt, steal?
Steal second base. Come on. Come on!
High school kids?
Junior high school kids. That's middle school. Junior high school in our world.
I would go out and fire them immediately before the coach got back to the sideline.
I may have been a parent in the stands that said, better get that 12th run. Go get it. Really important.
Is there a 10-run rule?
After like 3 or 4 innings.
Oh. All right, let's take a look at Jordan-Luplow. We talked about some guys that are platooning, and Jordan-Luplow somehow coming alive here. Here's what he's done in the last 6 games. 7 hits in 20 at-bats, .350 batting average, 4 homers, 6 RBIs, and 6 runs scored. Does that look like there's a mallet on top of his head that he's about to get hit with?
You know what I was looking at? I was looking at his picture, and I was wondering if you took that picture out in the streets of Cleveland, how many people would know?
Oh, nobody.
Nobody. Good. Make a name for yourself. Keep hitting that way. Let's make you the biggest name in town. Let's get you the billboard.
All right,
Keep hitting that way. It's good stuff.
Let's take a look at Carlos-Carrasco in his last 2 starts, both against Chicago. 12 innings, 8 hits, no earned runs, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks. 0.0 walks, Carlos-Carrasco.
That will get you through school, my son. 0.0, Mr. Blutarski.
Yes, it will.
He's looked good. But he's been a little bit like the team. When he's a bad outing, man, he is a bad outing.
And they keep him in there and let him eat up innings with it.
I hope they don't burn these arms out late in the season.
That's a good point. Here's the problem with putting Bieber and Rodriguez into pitch. They don't give you the length. They may be out after 5 innings, which puts more, the onus is more on the relief staff, and you don't need that.
But hasn't that been pretty much the best story of the year, the relievers?
Yeah.
I mean, Brad Hand's 11 for 11 in save opportunities. I know he had a bad game over the weekend, but and he took a loss. But still, 11 for 11 save opportunities, I'll take that.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Free admission, free parking every day. That's in Northfield Park, where you can catch the live racing. And you can catch it every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Post time is 6 p.m. and open early every day for simulcast action. The weekly Sunday contest featuring Gulfstreams Park. The top prize is $500 each week. Lady Luck's Clubhouse is open every Saturday with the buffet, just $15.95 at Northfield Park. Andy Baskin and I return one more time exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your basement is damp, dirty, and not somewhere you want to spend time. Let Nature Stone Flooring transform your basement into a true extension of your home. Nature Stone's proprietary hydrostatic ports allow water to simply evaporate, so no mold or mildew. Plus, Nature Stone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, the D-Man, Dennis Maniloff, will join us. You see us from 6 to 7 live, and then you can archive it anytime you want and go back in Les-Levine history and find out what's going on. And Facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine with new content posted each and every day. All right, so we asked our Facebook people, Andy, who they would like the Cavs to take with the 5th pick in the draft.
Who'd they say?
Well, Rick May says DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. We can always use someone to play defense.
He can play defense.
Glenn Berger, maybe a good European player. ESPN has the Cavs taking DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. Keith Gallus, who used to have a little restaurant in the arcade, had best hot dogs in town. Jarrett-Culver is his choice. Carl St. John, Reddish, or Hunter. And Larry Pantages. I'm wondering if it's the same Larry Pantages who was the sports editor at the Beacon Journal at one time.
Sure.
So they were unlucky in the lottery, but now maybe they'll be fortunate with any choice. My research back in the 80s showed only 1 in 3 first-rounders became an above-average player. Every time you find Austin Carr or Campy Russell or Mike Mitchell, you find 2 Anthony Bennetts. Maybe Beeline's eye for talent plays a big role here.
That's a great point.
Time to go to some How Come Quickies, among other things.
I thought somebody was mad at me. Oh, here we go.
Cleveland Bill is mad at you. What's Andy talking about? Last year, Brantley had 176 hits and 17 home runs for us. Most fans wanted him to stay. He wasn't hurt through most of 2018.
He's been hurt a ton. Cleveland
Bill counters with a How Come Quickie.
Okay, good.
Or 2.
All right.
How come the strongest man competition was won by a robber who held up a bank?
Keep going.
He comes back with how come you can buy...
Is this the same person?
Yeah.
Okay.
How come you can buy half a chicken at Whole Foods?
That was good.
How come the beer drinker walked into the garden among carrots and peas?
All 3.
Yeah, all 3. Peggy Meyer. How come if you cross a 4-leaf clover with poison ivy, you'd get a rash of good luck?
We had a big argument about luck the other night with Kawhi Leonard's shot going in.
What did you determine? Skill or luck was the question?
Yes. You
It's
tell
like
me
the
first.
Three Stooges.
Tell me, skill or luck?
Skill. The right movement on the ball.
Come on. You got to get lucky when the ball's bouncing around
You don't
the
remember
rim.
the Three Stooges, heredity or environment, trying to decide?
Was that Larry or Curly or Moe? Or
It was a forerunner
Shep
of trading places. Mr. Gullible, how come they're not going to make yardsticks any longer? How come the first 5 days after the weekend are always the hardest?
That's a great point. Yeah.
All right, here we go. John Patrick, we have to grade these two together.
Okay.
I've been reluctant to give him a 10 because I'm afraid he's going to stop sending them in, and I don't want
Wait,
him to stop.
conjunctivitis.com guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a 10.
That was a 10, but
That
it was
was a
only
10.
1.
All right.
All right, here's today's Daily Double. How come exaggerations are up by 1,000,000% this year? How come
6.
people using umbrellas seem to be under the weather?
I've heard that one before.
Well,
it's an old one. I've got one for you, Les.
what do you got?
You want this one? This isn't a how come quick. This
All
is a-
right, hey,
this
I'm
is a
here till
question.
7.
This is a question.
Okay.
You're at a cemetery.
I am?
Yes, you're at a cemetery.
Is it a close person?
No, doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay.
On the tombstone, they put a picture of you.
Of me?
Well, let's just say it's you. Say it's you.
All right.
Or me, I don't care.
Yeah.
Would you rather have old Les Levine picture on your tombstone or young Les Levine on your
I always
tombstone?
wonder about that in the,
I saw
the
this
obits.
like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, in the obits in the paper.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one.
They'll put somebody in with his Navy hat on or his Army clothing.
Okay.
And he's 92.
I can dig it. Don't like if you're gonna take a picture of me. I want 27-year-old Andy Baskin.
Right. Well,
I
I'm
don't
good.
want 18-year-old Andy
I don't
Baskin
blame
who's
you.
skinny. I definitely don't want 51-year-old
Right.
who's fat right now. I want 27-year-old.
Why don't you
that
pick
was in
out the
shape.
picture right now, and hopefully you don't have to use it for 60, 70 years.
That's a good point. Maybe I'll do that.
All right, so
Kind of a morbid question, but not bad.
very morbid question. I know what I want on my tombstone.
I was dying to ask you that question.
What I want on my tombstone?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
He'll be back after these messages. And you? Don't die on me now.
I was talking to a clergyman the other day. This is true.
Oh, I don't believe you.
This is true.
Yeah.
I was talking to a clergyman the other day, and
That
he
I
told
can't
me
picture at all.
he was at a cemetery.
Yeah.
And on the back of the tombstone, the person who had just passed away, on the back of it, it said, "I told you I was sick." This is a true story. There is a tombstone somewhere here in Northeast Ohio, and on the back of it, it says, "I told you I was sick."
You didn't believe me.
You didn't believe me.
Next time I tell you, believe me.
I think that's great. Like that
is
to
good.
me is awesome.
All right, we got 27 seconds. You're a great radio guy. You've been timing your stuff forever.
I have.
27 seconds, go.
Tomorrow I'm at Veranda.
What is that?
It is a bar that's right on the county line between Cuyahoga. It's in Avon and Lorain County. They have an amazing patio there, and so we'll be hanging out there from 4 to 6 tomorrow. The patio is out
Doing
of
the
this
show
world.
from there, obviously.
I'm just going to do some stuff over there. Hey, I'm Andy Baskin. I'm at Veranda. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. I'm not doing the show from out there. I'm only
Who's
on
doing
from-
the show?
Tomorrow. That's afternoon. That's Bull and Fox.
Oh.
I'll be on. I'll be
I
calling
thought
in
you were
during-
going to do a show, not be there, and not have me sit in.
Les, I can't do a show without you. I just want you to know that.
Thanks
of all
to
the
Andy
shows I've
Baskin.
done with you.
No, hold on.
Of all the
Be a
shows I've
hero,
done with you before,
Be a hero,
today's
be
the
a
latest.
hero. Lifebank.org.
That's
Of all
close
the
enough.
shows, of all the shows I've ever done, this is the most recent.